comparisons, and it has a comparative chart to differentiate the basic traits of smaller groups like fungi, bacteria, sarcoids, and nosodes. We've recently done some groundbreaking work called mapping personalities, where we've compared animal remedies with mineral remedies. All of this work has been put in this book in a table format for your quick reference. Hence, it's a perfect book to be on your desktop. Let's look at the index of the book. It's basically divided into three parts. The first is the concept and the minerals, which is all in green. The second is comparison between nosodes, the miasmatic relationships, and smaller rare remedies. This is all laid out in purple, and the third half of the book in blue is all about the animal section. In the concept, we've talked in short about our concept of patterns and planes. Every individual, we believe, has a specific pattern, and we've devised a way to tap this pattern precisely. We've talked in short about mineral, plant, and animal planes that are present in each one of us. We've talked about why animal remedies can look like plant and mineral remedies. And then we've in short given you what language of the human being corresponds to what animal class. As you can see, the language of sponges, mollusks, cnidarians is more about protection, danger, boundaries. The language of amphibians is more about doubt, confusion, having to choose between options, difficulties in making choices, etc. Let's look at the minerals. So that's the periodic table, and that's about the 7 rows in the periodic table. This is the mountain graph that we've been discussing in all our seminars about the 18 columns of the periodic table. After the graph, we have detailed out the feeling, the perception, the appearance, the compensated and the uncompensated side of every single column in the periodic table. This detail will help you understand the entire picture of an element in that specific column. Together with the rows and columns, you can come to a mineral prescription easily. The purple chapter about comparison between rare remedies like lanthanides, actinides, noble gases, common ones like halogens, imponderabilia, and noble gases. This is the chapter on our miasms and the way we compare the miasmatic chart. As you can see, we are now in the blue section, which is the animal section. In this section, we first laid out the whole animal chart, the classification chart, and then we've talked about which animals correspond to which rows and columns in the periodic table. We've also given you an explanation as to why we see these traits between the animals and the minerals. After this understanding and elaborate explanation on which animals are similar to which rows, we have put the same in a table format for your quick reference. So here you have the rows, and then listed underneath the row are the organisms that compare with that row. This becomes easy when you're trying to find animal remedies, because animal remedies come up with a complex of several symptoms and emotions and expressions. But if we know what row they compare with, we can easily come to a mineral diagnosis and then to the corresponding animal diagnosis. As you can see the charts in detail, the classification charts in detail. Here you see mammals in comparison with the periodic table. In this book, we have stressed on mammals and birds. So you will see 2 specific chapters on only mammals and birds. This is a very interesting chapter called Joshis mammal groups. In this chapter, we have given you animal features and human reflections, which means we have pointed out which animals compare to what human language. For example, a strong, hard-working man with high self-esteem, generally silent and accommodating, would compare with an animal from the Bovidae or the Camelidae family, which is also a large, strong animal, yet it is docile and seldom shows any aggression. This is a chapter we call Joshis mammal groups, where you can find the mammal for that corresponding human being, or vice versa, you can find the corresponding mammal for that human being. This is the section on birds, where we first laid out the classification chart of the birds, and then we've made the whole table about the birds that come in those specific rows of the periodic table. I hope you enjoy this book of ours. Other books by us are Homeopathy and Patterns in the Periodic Table, which is completely about the minerals, and I would suggest it's a book which you must read to understand the minerals. Our second book on nosodes and imponderables is an interesting one with several case studies and a whole lot of information and materia medica on nosode and imponderable remedies.